What is up, dudes and lady dudes? Welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today we've got more new cards. Finally, we got the beginning, like, new Stardust stuff for the beginning of Dawn of Majesty. We finally have another archetype reveal. I love the artwork of this guy here. That's all I've seen, and I can't wait to get into the rest of the archetype. Okay, so this is apparently Magikey from Dawn of Majesty. I've read nothing. We're going in blind. Let's do this damn thing. And it looks like we start off with a straight up vanilla. That's kind of crazy. Okay, this is Magikey Sky Blaster Clavis. He's a warrior, normal, dark, level 4 monster with 1919 as his stats. He is Rhoda-able, I guess, but okay, we'll take it. Dark warrior, not bad, Rhoda. Every person is brimming with potential. To go or to stop, to close or to open, depends on yourself. There are many doors in this dazzling world. What opens them is a magical key. 2 keys and 1 door. 2 wills and 1 form. If the door is opened, the world shall be connected, and an enormous power shall reveal itself. And he's got a dope gun. All right, let's jump into this ritual. Okay, Magikey Blaster Batas Buster. I guess that's the weapon here. Very cool. It's a machine ritual tuner effect monster. It's dark, level 4, 2000, 2200, so pretty beefy for a level 4, which is nice. You can ritual summon this card, which Magikey Maftia. You can only use the first effect this card once per turn. If this card is ritual summoned, add a Magikey card from your deck to hand. Very nice. We've been needing to see this very often with ritual cards, ritual archetypes. They need to make up advantage for the fact that ritual summoning in general as a mechanic is pretty neggy. So also, once per turn, when an attack is declared involving this card and an opponent's monster with the same attribute as a normal monster or Magikey monster in the graveyard, you can place any number of cards from your hand on the bottom of the deck, and if you do, negate that opponent's monster's effects until the end of this turn, then draw cards equal to the number of cards you placed. Holy crap. Okay, so if you battle a monster with the same attribute as a Magikey or normal monster in the graveyard, you get to place as many cards from your hand on the bottom of the deck, then you negate the opponent's monster, then you draw cards equal. So I guess it lets you just like take a mulligan. It's any cards. It's not even just Magikey cards you get to put back. That's okay. Interesting effect. Mainly we're looking at the add a card when summoned. Next up, we have Magikey Cannon Garazvet. This is a machine, obviously ritual effect Earth this time, so different attributes, which is nice. It's a level 8 with 2000 attack and 2800 defense. A big booty, not terrible attack either. Obviously, you can ritual summon this with Magikey Maftia, and you can only use the second and third effects once per turn. He gains 300 attack for each monster's attribute. For each monster attribute in your graveyard. Wow, that can get really big really fast. I mean, these guys are both dark, but I'm sure there'll be some other attributes going on here. So he's at least going to be 2300 and then even higher than that in your graveyard specifically. Okay, cool. That could get big. When your opponent activates the effect of a monster with the same attribute as a monster in your graveyard and you control this ritual summoned, this card ritual summon using monsters with 2 or more attributes, quick effect, negate the effect, and if you do, destroy that monster. And the third effect, if this ritual summon card is sent to the graveyard, you can add a Magikey monster from deck to hand. Okay, kind of a lot going on with this one here. First things first, the first effect, he can get pretty beefy pretty quickly. That's pretty nice. It's just generically any attributes in your grave, so he could easily hit 32, maybe even 3,500 at certain points. Second effect is interesting, but I think it's a little bit awkward, right? Like you have to have, it has to be a monster your opponent's activating with the same attribute as a monster in your graveyard. This guy had to have been ritual summoned using at least 2 monsters with different attributes. But I guess that's not the hardest thing. He's at level 8, so everything in the deck seems to be level 4. Very, very interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about that. And the last effect's actually really awesome. He has to be ritual summoned for this to work. If it just said sent to the graveyard, that'd be so clean. I mean, you could just play Foolish Burial to get a search, but whatever. We're not going to complain on that. It still works. It means even after he's outed or you use him as ritual fodder later on, you still get a resource back for him. So can't really complain there. All right, interesting. Moving on, we've got fusions. This is Magikey Summon Beast, Ansiala Bolas. whatever. It's a Beast Fusion Tuner, a tuner again. Dark, level 4 with 2200 attack, 2000 defense. It requires 1 Magikey monster and 1 non-token normal. Very interesting. You can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. If it is fusion summoned, you can add a Magikey Maftia from your graveyard to your hand. Interesting. So it's specifically only what I'm assuming to be the ritual spell from graveyard, not from deck. Very interesting. Second effect, once per turn, you can target one opponent's attack position monster with the same attribute as a normal or Magikey monster in grave. Change it to defense mode, and if you do, it loses 1,000 defense. Whatever. And then banish any monster destroyed by battle with this card. I think this by far is like the worst card we've seen here so far. I mean, I guess it's instant fusionable, which it maybe makes it playable. But other than that, I mean, its effects just seem so awful, right? The first effect only adds 1 specific card in the archetype back from grave. The second effect is not that good. I mean, I guess it helps you walk over a bigger monster potentially. And the third effect's fine, I guess. We don't want our opponent having stuff in the grave if we can help it. But overall, definitely super underwhelming card. Other than instant fusion potentially being a good extender in the deck, like I don't see this card really being that nice. Moving to the second fusion, we have Magikey Summon Beast Adrabimus, big dragon boy here, 2800 attack, 2000 defense, Dragon Fusion Wind level 8 monster, requires 1 Magikey effect monster and 1 non-token normal monster. First effect, when fusion summoned, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects. That's not bad. That's not terrible. So your opponent just can't like respond to his summon, which is pretty cool. There. Once per turn, you can target 1 normal monster or Magikey in graveyard. Destroy all monsters your opponent controls with the same attribute. So potentially a board wipe, and with the way this deck seems to want to play, and this definitely seems like a first wave type of archetype. Like it's not going to do much out the gate, but it definitely seems like we've got wind, we've got earth, we've got dark. Right, like we've got like 3 of the 6 attributes taken up here. We'll probably get another huge wave after this that'll help things work out. And these just say monsters in general, right? Any normal monster or Magikey, any normal monster you can revive and get this thing going to wipe a board. Okay. And the third effect, once per turn, if an opponent's monster with the same attribute as a monster in your graveyard is destroyed by battle or card effect, and you control this fusion summoned card using 2 or more attributes as material, you can draw 1 card. Okay, so either player's turn, if a monster your opponent controls is destroyed, it has the same attribute, and this guy was summoned with 2 different attributes, draw a card. That's cool. Like it could potentially just get you free draws. It does have a couple stipulations, but I guess it's more of like a bonus effect here. This guy just seems overall better than this guy, and they take the same exact material. So I'm very curious why you would ever make him when you can make him. I don't know. All right, moving on. Let's get to our spells and traps here. We start off obviously with Magikey Maftia. It's a normal spell. It says fusion summon 1 Magikey fusion monster from your extract using monsters from your hand or field as fusion materials, or ritual summon 1 Magikey ritual monster from your hand by tributing monsters from the hand or field whose total levels equal or exceed the level of the ritual monster. If you control a normal monster, you can also send a normal monster from deck to the graveyard as fusion material or as one of the monsters required for the ritual summon. All right. Okay, I like that. That actually makes this make a little more sense. It's not an archetype with a fusion spell and a ritual spell, so it's kind of awkward, like which one do I search here? You have 1 card that does both, and it's not once per turn. So you could use this to do a ritual summon, then use this to, fuse that card as fusion material to get to a fusion monster. Not half bad. I think this card's pretty cool. I also love this effect where if you just control any normal monster, you can send a normal monster from deck just to get that to work, which means if you control any normal monster, you can still just send the Magikey boy to do the fusion summon for either of these, or you could have the Magikey boy to then send whatever other normal monster you want to get to one of these. So either way, it works. Just any vanilla, not just the Magikey guy. Okay, kind of a cool card. I like that. That kind of pulls this together a little bit. Very curious about the tuner aspect here, right? He's a tuner, and we haven't seen any synchros or anything, or maybe that's just leaving it open to versatility with combining with other archetypes. All right, next up here, we have Magikey Unsealing. It's a field spell. Will it search? Probably. You can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn, and the third effect is you can only use the Third effect of this card's name once per turn. When this card resolves, you can add a Magikey monster from your deck to the hand. Okay. What's cool is that we do have rituals in here, so I like that. Like, it's not an archetype with just, it is an archetype with only one vanilla monster in the main, but you also have the potential to search either of your ritual monsters as well, if you already have the normal monster, which is pretty cool. So +1. Second effect, the first time each normal monster you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect each turn. Except tokens, it is not destroyed. That's actually pretty damn good. I mean, you've got a 1919 natural, like, super searchable body in this deck. If you could just continually put him on field, I mean, that's definitely annoying to know that, like, every time he won't be destroyed, this card searches that card. And that could definitely be a problem. I could see this being this. Boy, that's crazy. Okay, sorry. Also, third effect, during your main phase, you can add a Magikey Maftia from deck to hand, then place one card from your hand on the bottom of the deck. That is all. Wow, that's crazy. This is an insane field spell. Wow, okay. Gives you a free search, then gives you protection on every vanilla you control once per turn, every turn, and gives you the ability to get, like, the most crucial card in the entire deck to your hand by putting a card back. Make stuff like Gamma less hurtful in the deck and stuff. Very, very cool. That's an insane field spell. I like that a lot. This card gives a ton of potential to the deck for sure. Then we move to a couple of traps here. The first one says Connected Magikey. It's a normal trap. It says target one normal monster or Magikey monster in your graveyard. Add it to your hand, then you can apply one of these effects, where you can either immediately fusion summon a Magikey monster from your extra deck in defense mode using monsters from your hand or field as material, or you can immediately ritual summon a Magikey ritual from hand in defense mode by tributing monsters from your hand or field whose levels equal to or exceed the level of the monster. Interesting card. Allows you to do these summons on your opponent's turn without needing your Maftia. Very interesting. I don't think that's the worst thing in the world, but you don't have anything that, like, does something on summon. Like, if this guy said on summon, wipe, like, monsters your opponent controls with the same attribute as something, maybe that'd be cool, because you could just quick summon him and then wipe a board. But not really seeing the payoff of this necessarily, other than, like, dodging stuff. I don't know. I think it's a fine card, but takes setup and it's a little slow. So we'll see. That one's fine, I guess. And then the last card here is Magikey Unlock, which is a continuous trap. So let's see what it negates. You can only activate it once per turn. When your opponent activates a spell or trap card, while you control a Magikey ritual or a Magikey monster special summon from the extra deck, negate that activation, and if you do, destroy that card. Then you can declare one attribute, and if you do, all face-up monsters your opponent controls become the declared attribute until the end of this turn. Wow. Okay. That's kind of interesting. What I like about this is this kind of sets you up for, like, this guy to get you disruption as well, because he only negates something with the same attribute as a monster in your grave. So if they didn't already control something of the same attribute, you could negate any spell or trap, then make it that attribute. So kind of reminds me of, like, Plunder Patrol Booty, giving you the ability to, like, change your opponent's attribute so that they allow your deck to work better. That's kind of cool. Definitely something needed. I don't think this is the best form of that. I kind of wish this deck just had, like, a more searchable something, like maybe the field spell. The field spell just said, like, once per turn instead of, like, protecting from destruction. If it just said once per turn, target a monster your opponent controls, it becomes a certain attribute. That'd be kind of cool. Or during either player's turn, if your opponent summons a monster, you can change its attribute. That also would be pretty cool. So I don't know. This card's not terrible, though. It is just a spell and trap negate, although you can't use it if you just have the vanilla. You have to have one of the rituals or something from the extra deck, so we'll keep an eye on that. Overall, super, super interesting. I love the artwork. I love that he's just, like, the main guy, and he's just on everything. He's got a cool gun here. He's got a big gun here. He's got a gigantic cannon here. He's riding a crazy beast, riding a crazy dragon, and then he's just got his pistol here, which is awesome. Awesome field spell. This is the best card in the deck right here, hands down. Fun artwork here. It's cutesy, and then this artwork here is also very, very awesome. So I'm very curious to see where they go here. This is super, super not good at the moment. I'll say that outright. This does not do a ton, but I will also say that going forward, this could be one of those archetypes that, like, you don't really see what it does, and then the next wave is, like, just as big. Another what is this, 8 cards, 2 traps, 2 spells, 2 fusions. This is 9 cards. We got another 9 cards, and there's synchros, there's links, there's exceeds, and there's like 2 more spells and 2 more traps, and they just like they all kind of pull it back together. You've got consistency here. Monsters rotable, your field spell rotas it, and gets you your most crucial card in the deck at the moment. Crazy consistency. I don't see what's really, I don't know. I feel like there's definitely potential here. That's all I'm trying to say here. But obviously, I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Please let me know in the comment section down below what you think of this new archetype in terms of potential. Well, I know it's bad. We all know it's bad. But what do you think? Where do you think they could go with this direction-wise? Because I love design-wise. I want to pick it up because I think it'll be cheap because nobody's going to think it's good. Then we'll get reveals for the next stuff, and we'll be like, damn. Should have picked those up. Those were cheap before. So yeah, definitely let me know what you're thinking on that. Other than that, I'm gonna get the hell out of here. Thank you so much for watching. As always, guys, I will see you in the next video. Peace.